Well, I hope everybody's having a happy New Year's, and instead of like making a New Year's resolution to eat healthier, I'm actually making my New Year's resolution to start YouTube, because really, who can eat healthy? And that's hard. And like the start of 2018, this is going to be the start of my channel, and I hope to continue it throughout the rest of the year on teaching you guys the basics of photography and just how to make your photos better, from iPhone photography, drone photography, and videography to like little tips and tricks I use. And overall, I just want to influence you guys to be better at photography and just get motivated to do what you love, which is making photos. Oh, forgot something. Oh, that's better. See, it's always nice to have like a cool contrast and then a warm contrast. It just helps the overall theme. Alright, back to shutter speed. So say you're at like a sporting event, you're at your friend's sporting event, your daughter's sporting event, I don't know, anybody's sporting event, and you're taking pictures, you're loving it, not really checking to see if things are good, but you get back and realize all your photos are blurry. And you're like, no, how did that happen? Well, the simple answer is shutter speed. Your shutter speed was too slow for what you were shooting. Now, shutter speed measured in fractions of a second, and depending on what circumstance you want, you might want a 1/60th of a second or a 1/2000th of a second. In the example that I just said, where you were at the sporting event, you probably want a 1/2000th of a second, and we'll get to that later on why you should use that. So if you think about it, shutter speed is how long your sensor is open, and if your sensor is open for a longer period of time, more is going to happen during that period of time because it's open for longer. But if it's open for just a split second, not much happens. It's like that, just quick and sudden, and it'll freeze time if you have a fast enough shutter speed, as in like a 1/2000th. But understanding what shutter speed you need is very key. Now, some basic common things that you would need to know what shutter speed you want to use is definitely sports, because you'll need a fast shutter speed for that. Just normal street photography, you might want a 1/125th to like a 1/60th. 1/60th, you're probably going to have a bit of motion blur, and 1/60th is actually the slowest you can go handheld. Even with a good stabilizer, you might get a little bit shaky there because your hands aren't just steady enough for a 1/60th of a second. You'll want to either crank up your shutter speed faster or have to use a tripod if you want to go lower than that. But if say something you want to shoot the Milky Way, the stars, you're going to want a lot longer of a shutter speed, so there's no way you can hold that, and you're going to be wanting to use a tripod. Now, tripods are amazing with slow shutter speed because they literally don't move, and you can put a weight underneath it, and so it'll be rock solid the whole entire time. Now, something you'd want to accomplish, like say smooth water in a shot, or maybe like you're using a polarizer, you're going to need a slower shutter speed because you're not letting enough light in there as just a normal ultraviolet protector, or just no protector at all, because the filter you're using is a lot darker, so a lot less light gets in there, and your sensor is going to have to adapt and actually be open for longer. And you're going to need a tripod for that. Really, if you want silkiness, you're going to have to use almost a couple seconds open, and that's a long time. If you can handhold that, applause to you. I don't know who can handhold like 2 seconds. That's insane. That's impossible, because really you can only handhold a 1/60th or faster, and that's all I can do really with my camera. Good job if you can do longer than that. If you're using a slow shutter speed, a lot's going to happen in between, and if it's slow enough, a lot of stuff's going to happen. But sometimes that can be really cool. I mean, you could stick your tripod out on the street, say in New York, have your sensor open for like a minute long, and literally everybody will disappear. It's insane. It just looks amazing. That's because everything is still while people are moving, so you get the still objects to resonate on the sensor, and the sensor senses it, and so it gets all the data from all that, and the people disappear because they don't accumulate enough light to go in there at that long of a shutter speed. Now, shutter speed is one of the parts of the exposure triangle, and I will get to the other two parts in later videos, so please stay tuned for that. Well, alright, well, I'm back. Oh my gosh. It thinks that this right over here is a face. And literally, I just recorded the whole entire segment, and it thought that thing over there was a face. Look here, let me fix this. Hi. Okay, that's better. Okay, I'll have to restate everything I just said. And my camera died, so it was a double whammy. Okay, so now we know that shutter speed is how long your sensor's open for. If you want to capture like smooth water, you're going to need a longer shutter speed. And if you're going to want to shoot sports, you're going to need a faster shutter speed. And for just like normal going around, you can use like a 1/60th to a 1/250th. You don't want to be too fast or you kind of like freeze life, unless that's what you really want. But you can't really go underneath 1/60th unless you want to use a tripod. Really, it's whatever your forte is. Slower shutter speeds, just need a tripod. Faster shutter speeds, you can do it handheld. Pretty good. So I hope you learned something from me talking about shutter speed and just rambling on about nonsense. But thank you for watching. If you feel like it, leave a like. That means a lot to me. You can hit the subscribe button, or you can just tap if you don't want to break your phone. I mean, I'd understand. Because doing this isn't really the best thing to do. I don't know why people say hit the subscribe button. You just tap it. I mean, tapping it's just fine. Alright, well, okay. Well, I hope you have a good New Year's, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.